Commissioner, Sunset Park. I mean, everyone knows this place. 325 acres. This place has been around here for 45 years. You were telling me you used to bring you brought your kids here for years. This is a fantastic place. This is Clark County's Central Park. Let's face it.
It is. It's a gem, a wonderful regional park for children to enjoy the playgrounds and the disc frisbee events and sand volleyball. It's just a wonderful place to come and enjoy.
And you know, obviously, it's as we say, it's been a 45-year-old park. Major renovations and improvements are taking place. Some $11.7 million, and you know, we can see the new tot lots and things like that. But I think Parks and Rec has done a nice job of keeping pretty much the entire park open while these renovations are taking place.
Yes, and I've had a lot of constituents that were amazed that they could still use the park through this period of improvement. It's wonderful. It's great planning.
We'll see improved parking and the landscaping and greens. As you remarked, Commissioner, we've saved a bunch of the trees and replanted them, and that's real important to keep the most mature landscaping right here at Sunset.
Absolutely. They've done a great job planning and carrying this out. And looking at this the tot lot and the water feature, it'll be even more enjoyable, I think.
And I'm sure ever since you've been elected, parks is something that is at the forefront. I'm sure everyone wants more parks or wants their parks improved or their parks to look something, you know, in their neighborhood as they've done. You've done some park surveys. Tell me a little bit about some of the findings you found in your park surveys.
Yeah, during March on the website, we did a little survey. I was so impressed with the number of people that responded and some of the great feedback that we got. One of the main issues that we found was Horseman's Park, which a lot of people use district county-wide, and it is in District G, and people were concerned because they have a lot of events there and they want a shade structure. So that was one of the main things that we heard from that. Another thing was right here at Sunset Park, some people were concerned across Eastern. There are a lot of folks that like to come across and use the park, and they were concerned about maybe having a crosswalk of some type for more safety in crossing. One of the neatest ideas I thought was just a very creative idea was to have chess tables, immovable chess tables that people could come and just do pickup games. I thought that's an amenity that might be a fun thing to use in future park improvements.
So it's very important to, like you say, you would have never thought of that. Your staff wouldn't think of these things, but sometimes that's what it takes, and that's what Clark County, we're always looking for the residents' suggestions, especially when park planning.
Right. It adds a lot. I mean, that is a dimension we wouldn't have thought of. I have met with the Parks Director and Public Works, and they're looking right now, doing a traffic study for the crosswalk and looking at putting some funding to Horseman's Park. So I think we'll be able to carry through on some of those.
Dog Fancier's Park must be part of your district then also, to bring us up to date on any changes or any things you heard from your constituents about that?
Constituents, because that is the only dog-only park in the county, and people were anxious to see some renovation there, some more dog runs and kind of spruce it up a little bit. And so we're looking at that as well, trying to get some funding together for that.
Commissioner, we're, as we say, Sunset Park, 325 acres, and just a couple miles away in District G, a new park called Grapevine Springs, a 3-acre park that the people in that area, that live in that area, must be thrilled that that place is going to open later this fall.
Yes, and it's a little gem, a neighborhood park that's having some great renovations. They'll have a tot lot in that, and a nice walkway with some of the exercise stations, so it'll be a great neighborhood park. There have been some concerns about safety, and one of the things that Metro recommended was a code blue phone. Apparently they're using them at UNLV, and this will be the first park in Clark County to use this. And the Metro says in research that's been done that just having the phones there for emergency use will often deter crime. So we're excited to see how that works.
So it's just kind of like a pay phone, but obviously clearly designated as a direct line to the emergency line? And
to any emergency personnel that someone might find a need for.
And you say we've seen this idea in other public facilities. How did Clark County, or how did you folks come up with this, an idea to test pilot this?
I believe it was Metro that brought the idea forward, and it had worked well at UNLV, and thought it might work well in the park where safety was an issue.
Fantastic. Commissioner, you're also blessed with some of the super well utilized parks also, Paradise Community Center and Park and Whitney. Again, these parks are not maybe as well known obviously as a Sunset, but to the people in those areas, they're playing there, their kids are playing there, they're doing activities and using these places more often not, especially now that the economy is down.
Absolutely. And I think they're kind of a center for the neighborhood, and I think that's so essential right now, especially in unincorporated Clark County where there's a place to have a neighborhood identity. It's important to use the parks and make sure that we're keeping them up and making them safe places where people enjoy coming and meeting with their neighbors.
You talk about neighborhood identity, you say that's one, you'd like to make it a goal to create neighborhood identity again. What does that mean to you, and what do you think that means to your constituents, Commissioner?
I think when people have a sense of neighborhood, identity, that they're more apt to be involved and make it safe. Keep a watch out for what's going on and identify more with the schools. The children, I think, in areas where there's a strong neighborhood identity, kids actually do better in school. You have a buy-in. You want your neighborhood to be a better place.
And how can we do that? And what is the government's role? What is Clark County's role in establishing those things you just said?
I think it's being out there working in the neighborhoods. I know as a commissioner, we've held several town meetings, and I think that's one way to start, to group neighbors together so that they can know who they are and identify their neighbors. We've done things like graffiti abatement and trash cleanups where neighborhoods can get together to work on issues that they might have, especially now with the foreclosed homes in the neighborhoods and some falling into disrepair, so that we can work together. Projects like that, I think, can help garner that identity.
Sure. Commissioner, recently you and a group of volunteers and a bunch of good members of the Clark County Fire Department had one of those neighborhood cleanups, like you said, and I saw you doing your paint roller skills are improving every year.
Every year.
Doing this. And again, I think that's kind of what you just said. Even one wall or replacing or cleaning up one desert area makes a difference, right?
It does. You finish the cleanup or finish painting the wall and covering up that graffiti, and it's just really a gratifying sense. We did something together that made it look better. That was initiated by neighbors, by folks in the neighborhood that wanted to do a cleanup. And so that was wonderful that they had the idea and came to us and helped organize it. And then to have the firefighters come and give a hand was terrific.